So, a few thoughts today. About 7 years ago, I prayed an I surrender prayer. Not the I surrender prayer that you pray and you're saved, but in my personal prayer time, I was weeping and seeking God and on the floor, guys, and just worshiping Him. And I prayed and I surrendered my fears, my hopes for my future, what I wanted him to shape me in, and basically told him he could touch every aspect of my life. And I got to say, the last 7 years have been extremely difficult. It's put me into survival mode. And today was a very stressful day. And I feel like after all these years of being in survival mode, there are times that God is allowing things to come to fruition in my life. All of a sudden, there'll be blessings and things are just falling back into place and being restored. But then there's these traumatic battles where everything and anything could go wrong, and the devil's touching your finances. He's getting into people around you to cause conflict, division, distraction, just to make you overwhelmed to give up. So it's kind of like I was in survival mode and just trying to survive and get through all the struggles that were going on with my, let's look at it this way, pregnancy. So God was allowing me to be pregnant basically, and the different struggles that I was going through, He was preparing me for a birth of who He was going to bring me out to be and for my future. And I didn't really think much of it that way until today, where I had several things that were going wrong. Um, right now, I am living in a hotel, and I will tell that story a different time. But didn't know if that was going to get paid. One of my apps that I make money on all of a sudden was shut off, and just a lot of stress. And we had been having a spurt of good times, blessing of money, things falling into place, things working out. And I'm like, oh, I do not want to go back to these trials and struggles and horrible things that were going on before, and just things that we were battling through. And God reminded me that just like in a pregnancy, when you're about ready to give birth, there are moments that you have peace, and there's moments that you have intense contractions and pain. And so this is where I am in the process. And I don't know how many people of you are there right now, but I do believe that God is birthing a lot of new things in people. He's brought them through very long seasons, and now He's bringing them through the birthing process. And in the birthing process, the devil wants to use the painful things, the struggles, to hopefully wear us out. So we don't want to finish that birth. No, no, we just want to stay where we're at and give up. And but if in between the pain and the struggles we endure and we seek God, rest in God, and allow Him to put our life back together, or situations that we've been in um, back together, and we rest in the in between times and trust in Him, there is going to be a great birthing in our life of things that we just didn't realize or think the Lord could do. So, if any of you are struggling right now and you're feeling at moments God's pouring out blessings, and the next moment you are fighting just battles, one hit after another, do not give up. You are in the birthing process, and rest in the peaceful part of the contractions, but do not give up in the struggles that are hitting you, because you're going to give birth to a baby. And if you think of that process, right as you're in the midst of the baby almost being out, too, you're going to have the most excruciating pain. But then and then there's going to be moments that you're feeling, I'm just getting victory over this. I'm just about ready to get that baby out. And don't give up. Don't give up. And my day to day, too, was a little different than what it normally is when I have battles and they're negative and they stay negative and it's just one hit after another. The devil knows how long to take us through that period before we just feel defeated. It's kind of like you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're in pain. You're like, I just can't do it anymore. And that's where he tries to get us to. But I'm going to tell you, it does get better. So today, when I went through those battles, it didn't stay bad through those battles the whole entire time. There's a peak of hope, a peak of getting on the other side of things. I got hit with three different things that hit my finances. But then I had other things that went right within my day. And normally, if it was going to go wrong, it's just going to go all wrong. So when you're birthing things, it's the same thing. You're eventually going to get to a point where you are seeing that reward. You're seeing the crown of the head, and you're like, okay, I'm in pain, but I'm seeing positive things. And so hold out, stay faithful, believe that God is birthing something great in you. And don't give up, have hope. Don't look to the past and let the past defeat you and be like, it's always going to be like this. It's never going to change. You have to believe that there is something that is going to birth out of what you've been through. And that if you don't give up and you don't give in, there's going to be a completion of that birthing. Hold on to the changes that you're seeing, the positive things that you're seeing, and let that push you forward. And when the painful things hit and the struggles hit, remember, um, you're just one step away from that birthing process being complete. And everybody's birthing process is different. Some are long, some are shorter. It depends on what we're going through. Um, and that's about it. That's what I wanted to share today. And I will be back on again because I have many things that God speaks to me with. And that I just want to share with y'all because I know I'm not the only person going through this stuff. Anyways, God bless.